The departmental controller gave a report on the work carried out during the year 2020. A few hours ago, this was carried out in the Wild Peterson Auditorium of the departmental government.
Regarding the figures and the control carried out by the Departmental Comptroller's Office in 2020, the person in charge of the entity, Husiniano Bryan, gave a report on his management.
We have some important results. In 2020, we make an auditoria, and we have identified losses of more or less 12,000 million pesos. And we believe that it's a really important job, because the most important that we have to do now is try to recover all those money that they lose or the corruption care. So in 2020, we recover more than 560 million pesos.
The Comptroller reported that 2020 was a year of great citizen participation.
That the citizen participation is our most important in the society. Without people participate, where the result is very hard. We need more participation of the active of the people. They can denounce, and we have sure that if they denounce, they will have a result.
At the accountability session, several community leaders were present, and some of them were awarded for their active participation with the Comptroller's Office.
And during this morning, the official educational institutions gave an accountability report for the year 2020. Attendees gave us a summary of what was experienced during this day.
During the accountability report session, one of the highlights was the change to a virtual mode that was made after the start of the pandemic. Before this, the Secretary of Education of the department highlights the strategies implemented to maintain the interests of students.
It's very important for the children, the students, the teachers, and also the principals from each one of the school, that the children, they go back to school. The children, they want to go to school. The teacher, they want to start with the children, because it's more easier for them to have the children in front, to work with them, and to work virtually. We know that this is something that is virtually work is not easy, but we have to go in there accustomed to work like so.
In the same way, the directors of the official institutions gave their point of view about the process in which the efforts made in the previous year are made known.
Ver muy satisfactoriamente que en esa rendición de cuentas.
We're very pleased to see that in this 2020 accountability report, and in spite of the atypical situation, we were able to move forward with all the institutional management processes.
In addition to change of modality, the director stated that the dropout rate was low, and that is due to the unified work between institutions and parents.
Con la alianza con los padres de familia.
With the alliance with parents, with the strategic guidelines, we were able to aim at having the educational quality we expected. Perhaps we thought that children would have a high dropout rate, and it was not so. We did wonders to be able to have coverage and be there with the students, looking through strategies at the commitments of the homes, because the work was magnificent from home.
For the attendees at this session, beyond the numbers, the important thing was to highlight the teamwork and the psychosocial support that have been provided to students on the island during the pandemic period.
And the Nicaragua National Assembly ratified Nicaragua's adhesion to the National Protocol for the Protection of Flora and Fauna in the Greater Caribbean.
The confirmation of Nicaragua's adhesion to the protocol concerning special protected areas and wildlife of the Convention for the Protection and Development of the Marine Environment of the wider Caribbean region was known through national media of the neighboring country. The main objective of this is the protection, preservation, and sustainable management of the areas of ecological value. It is important to remember that recently the neighboring country had also declared and defined itself as a Caribbean biosphere reserve in order to protect the natural patrimony of the nation and to guarantee the environment of the people to a healthy environment to face the consequences of the climate change. Previously, Teleislas News has consulted the opinion of Raisal involved and interested in the issue, who has stated that they do not find anything detrimental to the archipielago, stating that Colombia and Nicaragua should consider reaching an agreement. Even the director of the Environmental Corporation, Aaron Bredon, had clarified that Nicaragua's decision did not affect the island.
And the traffic police provided recommendations regarding driving of vehicles during the holiday break. Here is the information.
The recommendations are very basic, such as checking the vehicle before going out to make any movement around the island, verify that we have a driver's license, that the vehicle has a valid SWAT, that it has a valid technical mechanical revision, and that it really complies with the technical mechanical revision. We must not mix intoxicating beverages with the driving activity.
Finally, the traffic chief extends an invitation to enjoy the holiday weekend with responsibility.
The recommendation is to enjoy, but responsibly. We all have to be responsible, since saving lives is everyone's responsibility.
A couple was found without vital signs in the residence located in the Circo neighborhood. Here are the facts.
At around 11:30 a.m., lifeless bodies of a couple were found in the sector of Circo Bay. After a day of being missing, being found by their relatives in their place of residence, according to versions of some neighbors and the national police. It was a crime of passion, which led to the hypothesis attributed by the same community of the sector, and is that there were constant arguments between the couple, which led one of the two to commit the murder and subsequent suicide with a firearm, which was found at the scene of the incident. The bodies found to correspond to a 49-year-old man identified as Enrique Rafael Aaron Castillo and his 45-year-old partner, Yofaira Vanessa Pinedo Oliveros. According to the information from acquaintances, the man worked years ago in a public entity and had a store next to the Kikiriki store. Intelligence personnel of the public force were present at the scene of the incident and later carried out the removal of the bodies. Teleislas News regrets the fact and will be attentive to further information.
And the following are news from the sister island of Old Providence. Members of the play sectors of Providence shared their perspective on the reconstruction, being that 4 months have passed since the passage of Hurricane IOTA.
In recent days, the manager of the reconstruction of the municipality gave a report on the advancements after 4 months in terms of housing reconstruction and the goals as for April.
In roofing and roof structures, we have around 370 finished and 46 in execution. Regarding those houses that we are repairing, we have 115 being intervened and 2 new houses that we are building to be used as model houses for the population.
However, and in spite of the numbers that are being achieved, the community gave their version since they perceive slowness, disorder, failure in logistics, and also failure in the reconstruction.
People are living in tents. It has rained a little these days and people are suffering because of the little water that has been falling. What will it be like when the rainy season starts in May and all these people are still in tents? And the process of the new houses hasn't started yet.
Slow and a little bit of disorder in the logistic. I believe in taking account, them promise a lot of things without taking account the reality and what is reconstruct in an island in the midst of the ocean is not easy. Reparation of the house, in some section, the community is agree and they feel really comfortable.
I see the reconstruction of Old Providence very slow. Many people are living in tents because here in the mountain section, I haven't seen any roofs. Those that are putting on their roofs are the ones that bought it out of their own pockets.
In this district, which is my district, Southwest Bay, I see some construction going on. I see it even maybe more improve of the rest of district. But I see some district that is nothing going on. For 4 months after the hurricane, I would expect this island 85%. And I don't see that going on, and I see this taking years.
It's time. Let's unify. Let's start the work because the people are the ones who are suffering, not you who are in charge of the reconstruction, but the poor people who are out there. They are the ones who are suffering.
And yesterday, the official visit was made by the reconstruction manager, the president of Findeter, and some community leaders to the lot where the first new house is being built in Old Providence.
Yesterday, with the visit of Sandra Gomez, president of Findetel, the construction of 2 of the 4 houses that will serve as models for the community officially began. The houses will be located first in the Bottom House section and second in Southwest Bay. These houses have retained their architectural appearance but have changed in their structure, which will now be made of galvanized steel with a useful life of 15 to 30 years. The first head of household to benefit from this project spoke about what this moment means for her.
I'm very happy about what happening with me and my family. Well, thanks, because my mother is a person that have 82-year-old, so through she make that come true. Okay, and just how I'm glad for me. Well, I would like everyone to have them home too, because in these days we're hearing people that they passing difficulty through this little rain that comes.
It's important to note that despite the fact that these changes in the new houses have been socialized with the technical table, a large part of the community is still unaware of these changes.
And this afternoon, the governor, along with the Departmental Secretary of Health and Planning, met with the cabinet of the mayor's office to start planning the strategies for the mass vaccination in Providence against COVID.
After the president's announcement of the massive vaccination of Providence people, the governor held a meeting in Providence with different secretaries of the department and the municipality to start the planning process.
We've decided to come to Old Providence to do an articulated work on the logistical issue and the micro-planning for this vaccination campaign in Old Providence.
With this visit, a process announced by the president to the Minister of Health is officially advancing. There is still no exact date to as when the vaccinations will happen or which of the 5 vaccines will be used in this process.
And in cultural news, in order to learn about the origin of the genres that currently exist in the island, the Bank of the Republic will hold a workshop on the influence of hip-hop in the archipelago.
A virtual workshop on hip-hop aimed at artists of the island will start next week at the Bank of the Republic in the archipelago.
Next week, from this 26th until the 30th, we want to have one workshop about producer music or selecta, I will call it so. And we are inviting all young people who like the hip-hop, the freak to participate.
The workshop will also feature the participation of singer Juki Drama, who will be in charge of developing the theme of hip-hop and its influence on the island.
Also, we're going to have the 31st of this month, March. We're going to have a big conference talking about the hip-hop, about in general how is the influence of this movement in the country, but also we got the big opportunity to hear from Heart and Liver talking about the experience of San Andres. So we are cordially inviting people because it's the first time a person from here who is leader this team, he want to try to speak to the person and try to make like a historical recover of what is going on with this team.
This workshop will be developed through the social network of the Bank of the Republic.
And with the aim of giving a moment of joy to the community of the island, Circo Colombia arrives to San Andres.
After its visit to the municipality of Old Providence, Circo Colombia arrived to San Andres to entertain the entire community of the department. The show will have a controlled capacity of 130 people. Those who wish to enjoy the show must wear their masks and comply with the protocols of biosecurity provided by the armed forces.
We will be here for 20 days if God allows us. We are in the baseball stadium. There we will perform on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. For the general public, on Tuesday and Wednesday it will be for foundations, geriatric homes, educational institutions, and on Thursday at the same time at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, we will have a movie at the circus. What is this activity all about? The youngsters will go with their parents or responsible adult and a movie will be shown inside the circus tent.
Uniformed members of the National Army will be touring the neighborhoods of the island to deliver tickets to the show that, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, will have a controlled capacity of its visitors.